of Hope News. I'm your host, Wei Fang, and my co-host.
I'm Kathy Zhang. How are you?
Yeah, how are you? Okay, so today's Wednesday. We're very glad to bring you this program. We take we skip the Tuesday. Okay, hopefully the purpose is to make our show better. And thank you very much. Actually, I put on a survey yesterday, and in the community, and nearly 400 people replied.
Wow!
Wow! Thank you very much. I read through all of them, and just quickly report to you what's the result of the survey says, and 80%. Okay, I asked 3 questions, because I see a drop of the viewership, and so I was asking that is because we changed the hour. Is it because of the election's over, people are losing interest at this time, or because of the quality of the show is dropping? And then what I got is this. Okay, 80% of you said the election is over, people are losing interest, people are disheartened, people are disappointed and depressed and like that, which I fully understand. 10% of you is because of the change of the hour, and 9% of you are saying the quality is not good enough. Well, it's how to say, what do you think?
Well, actually overall, I think really it was, we were humbled to get such feedbacks.
Yeah, we are actually very, very appreciative for all your feedback, including those of you who think the quality is not good enough. We want to hear from you. If possible, just still go to the community, at a survey, just type up your comment. Where do you think that we should improve? And here, let me just report to you what I have collected. Okay, first, a few suggestions to the show, and unsubscribe. There's a lot of that may be censorship by the YouTube. Okay, this is what many people think. And then Slinger, I'm sorry, Slinger or Slinger, I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your name right, but Viz, you said to resubscribe, do this. Okay, I'm passing on the experience that Viz gave to me. Unsubscribe first, then subscribe. Yeah, do that.
Oh.
Take you off, and then take you back, and then come back on. That may fix the, I'm sorry, subscription and the notification issue. And then also another suggestion is to cut the show into pieces after the show, okay, so that it's easy to consume, 5 to 10 minutes. That's probably what we'll be doing. We'll be testing with that. Third, bring us more China news. Okay, tell us, what is China up to? What's going on over there? Fourth, give us more of your unique perspective since you come from communist China. That's exactly our one of the very reasons that we want to do this show. The fifth, get onto Safe Chat and Rumble and the other platform. That's exactly what we have done. Just so you know, Safe Chat is a app, social media that Sound of Hope News is there. Just go there, go to the channels, search for it. Over 10,000 people already subscribed there. And we also are on Rumble. Okay, so for those of you. Mm-hmm. And also, just so you know that I also created a Twitter account for Kathy and Wei. So the name is called Wei and Kathy. I probably should say Kathy and Wei. I'm sorry that I just picked Wei and Kathy. All right. So just search for that. If you can follow us, we'll be posting daily update there. Twitter, okay, Wei and Kathy, and Wei & Kathy. If you can search for that, and then if you can subscribe, we appreciate it. And okay, so that's that. And again, thank you so very much. We will be here. We'll be persistent. We appreciate a lot of, very much your feedback. There's a lot of encouraging words, and I really feel very, very dear to my heart. Okay, and Kathy too.
Oh, same here. Yeah, and I try to just read through each and every comment, but sometimes we'll miss, especially if it's the day afterwards. So, but it's I really enjoy reading your comments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's move into the first piece of news. It has to do with the impeachment. Okay, the impeachment against President Trump. So basically, Trump's legal team supplied their answer to the to the impeachment.
Yeah, I would use like response.
Okay,
right?
response, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, it is pretty long. I think altogether like 12 or 13 pages. So I will not go through all of them with you. I just give you some just high-level summary Okay, so the answer to those impeachment charges are the following: the president is no longer in office, so this is not constitutional. It's just pointless. And regarding the president violate his oath to safeguard the security of the nation by speaking on the January 6th and how to say, and which is a form of sedation, okay, and caused the Capitol Hill incident and a riot. President Trump's team said no, he did not do that. And then in terms of the sedition, that was completely denied. And in terms of the speech at the in Washington D.C. on that day in the morning, and including like a word in the impeachment paper saying that you should raise hell to crack this this election, things like that. And the attorney said that's President Trump's First Amendment. He's entitled to that. And also the legal team pointed out that the whole, the process in the House in terms of coming up with those the impeachment, just send it to the Senate. There's no due process. President Trump's team, his attorney was not called upon. He had no chance to be part of that. That violated due process of a citizen being charged, and that's wrong. Okay, that's their point there. And also they point out that the impeachment charge just lump sum everything together, which is again this is illegal. It's not the right way to do it by just lump sum everything together. The answer paper said, the response paper said, the Democrat hope that this portion of the charge would convince this many people, that portion convinced the other type of people, add them together, they are able to reach 2/3 majority to find President Trump guilty, and they said that's wrong. Okay, and that's that. Okay, so that's basically the summary. We'll see how things play out. And Kathy, anything to add?
I just wanted to, I noticed that actually, during the weekend, it's been quite a few days, but actually Trump's social media director shared a new Trump video. I thought it was very interesting. It's only like a little bit, like 35 seconds. I didn't download it, but here's the very short message. So just share with you. That's Trump's own voiceover, saying, if I give you one message to halt in your hearts today, it is this: treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. Relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsider to change the world and make real and lasting differences. The more the broken system tells you that you are wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. You must keep pushing forward. So that's the message.
Okay. So let me just add my comment. Let me put on my commentator's hat. So basically, indeed, the defense, okay, the defense is centered around that, why President Trump? He's already a, private citizen. Why do you, chase up to him and try to impeach him? Okay, and it never happened before. There's no precedence like that, like this. You are trying to try in the Senate a private citizen, okay? This is unconstitutional. So actually, you know what? Just look at it from another angle. How about this? So again, Viz Slinger, our viewers, I don't know whether you are here, and it suggests this.
Yeah, I saw her.
And okay, you saw her?
Yeah.
Yeah, she suggests this. She said, why aren't they taking Trump to a regular court and jail him? Because they are lying again. There are well-established legal court remedies for what they are claiming that he did. Okay, so what do you think? Yeah, that's indeed a good point of view, right? Since both sides are arguing whether this trial is constitutional at all. If you do believe that President Trump just commit crime by instigating the riot at the Capitol Hill, that you got enough evidence, you should bring him to a regular court. Why don't they do that? There's no defense over there, right? Just find him guilty there. Why did you do it? And So what do you think? Why don't they
Yeah,
do that?
and the one thing I think, people probably already noticed that even Robert,
John Roberts.
John Roberts, yeah, even John Roberts refused to preside at this impeachment trial. So what does that mean, right? He doesn't even think, probably, this is constitutional. He doesn't want to get involved.
Yeah.
So that's something really, I think people have to pay attention to.
So if the Democrat House truly believe Trump committed crime, they should hold him accountable, right? They should avoid this Senate trial thing, this constitutionality matter, because this is indeed unprecedented. There's no established precedent. They just, they want to seek justice. They should bring him to the court. And I dare to say, putting on my commentator's hat, okay, they won't do it. Okay, like Viz said, over there will be this, debate. There will be evidence presents to be presented there. The court will have to, the judge will have to hear the evidence. And is that something that they dare to do? What do you think? Okay, if I put my commentator's hat, okay, I say they dare not to do it. Not just that, okay, as you know that this, sometimes I think whether I avoid saying that the name, the machine company, that, right? Because if I say
the
that,
voting equipment.
Yeah, the algorithm will chase after me and punish this channel. Let's say you understand it, okay? That voting machine company, they send a letter around. Each letter saying that I want to sue you for $1.3 billion. And it really scared like Newsmax yesterday as I was watching that, right? And they were interviewing this guy, this Pillow, Mr. Pillow, and Mr. Pillow speaking, and then the scared host start to read a statement saying that we didn't charge that machine company, voting machine company, and so on. They were so scared, and finally he walked away. Remember that, right? So the thing is, I'm waiting to see whether indeed that company would bring anybody to the court. Because I bet they dare not. It's only meant to threaten, okay? Threaten people into not speaking. Dare they bring them to the court? And I think not Powell,
Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah, he loved to meet them in the court. So we'll see. This is the perspective that I want you to just pay attention to. Dare they really bring President Trump to the court, or bring whoever, talk about their issue, their problems, their fishy problems to the court? Dare they charge them in the court? We'll see. Just give it another, I would say, just 1 month, right? That's enough. If they don't bring charge against them in 1 month, they probably won't. We'll see that who indeed have the ground to do the so-called seek the justice. All right, I hope they do. Anyway, okay, let's move on to the next piece of news. We are talking about the election laws, right? So this is the main piece that we want to bring to your attention. Actually, as we all know, after the last year's election, nobody's taking a rest, okay? Even without enough reporting, but we are bringing this to you. Actually, the day before, I already did that. I just want to reiterate and bring you the update. 3 red states, Republican states, who has a majority in their state legislatures, brought their case, set out to tighten up the election laws. And this is Arizona, and it's in Pennsylvania, and it's in Georgia, okay? So in the meantime, the Democratic Congress is not taking a rest at all. Actually, the first resolution they introduced is called House Resolution 1, HR 1, was introduced by Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House. And then...
will allow me to just, do some... compliment. It's actually, it was introduced by a Maryland Democratic Representative John Sarbanes. And then Nancy Pelosi and Zoe Lofgren, both from California, are the co-sponsors.
Okay.
And this resolution actually was passed in the House in 2019, but it got stopped in the Senate because at that time it's a Republican majority.
Right.
But now this, as the new Congress session started, they just brought this one as the first priority.
Yeah. So as you know, while the three Republican states, their measure as we the steps they want to take, as I reported to you the day before, if you were here, is about how to say, disallowing vote by mail, or strengthen the rule there, and voter ID and so on and so forth, as you understand it, tighten up the election law so that there's no loopholes. But HR1 is going exactly in a completely different direction. Okay, the HR1 mandate, hear me out, mandate universal mail-out balloting in every state of the union. Okay, and then they meant to have only, how to say, and they would have prohibited photo identification, and prohibited they would prohibit even the signature verification. So when you register for a vote, okay, what do? They said you have to allow internet registration. All right. So over there, you have three ways to verify your signature. First, you just if you have a, how to say, saved signatures with your department, like driver's license, you can request them to transfer that signature over. Then it's a done deal. You got your signature.
That's called a modal voter. Actually, this has been implemented in California already starting April of 2018, and it created a huge problems. Just give you example. Since April of 2018, California residents started to do voter registration while they just go to motor vehicle department to do like a vehicle registration or do anything, right? And but the DMV officers later found that just during the first year as this law implemented, more than 100,000 registration errors happened. And including some voter registered to the wrong parties, they automatically change your party affiliation, and they even registered a non-citizen successfully, because in California the voter motor vehicle department, they issue driver's license to illegal immigrants. And then when you connect these two together, some illegal immigrants, they can actually register to vote. And they already have cases like that. So another example, in December 2019, at least 600 Californians in 3 counties, both Republicans and Democrats, they found their party affiliation got changed. And that I believe, actually I did like a series of reports on that. I think there are probably they erroneously registered millions of people through this motor voter act.
Yeah.
So a lot of problems.
So basically, they can transfer the signature with the Department of Motor Vehicles over to the registration database. But who's transferring? Is that person transferring his signature or some other people? This is all happening during the internet, okay, across the internet, right? So there's basically no validation there. This is the first thing. Second, if they don't have that signature, okay, they can just handwrite a signature and just email it over, just send it over, fill that in that online registration form. If they if they don't know how to do that, remember these days. There is this computerized signature. You can press a button, it generates something for you. That would also do. So all kinds of way, however you do it, and besides, if you don't do any of those, you do not pre-register on the day of voting. You can go there, you just register on the spot. Over there, you only need to give your signature. You are in. In terms of whether this signature can be verified, there's no step there. So it's basically just completely loosening the process, and they have reasonings, right? Some people ask me, so what's going on? What ground do they have? They said that this is to avoid suppressing voting, encourage people to vote, because if you have more stringent rules that will scare people, they won't be coming to vote.
Yeah, and that's why they are also opening for like people who are ex-felonies to be able to vote.
Wow, they will scare people to vote because you need to show the ID. Scare whom?
Yeah, and
Scare
also,
people who should not be voting, I guess.
yeah, and this act also prohibit state government require the voters to provide their full social security number. Only last four digits are required.
And by the way, above all this, there's this big issue of constitutionality issue, whether the House, the Congress is able to apply such a across the union type of law, voting law.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that as you may know or may not know, let me elaborate here a little bit. Constitution is the supreme law of the nation, of the land, right? And in the Constitution, it was clearly stated that the federal government only have limited power. And the powers were enumerated in the Congress. Okay, Article 1 and Section 8. If you go through that, Congress needs to handle this national security and the military and the copyright, bankruptcy, and currency and the counterfeit and so forth and so on. And foreign relationship, commerce, cross-state commerce, and so on. There's no voting law. There's no election law. It's not their job. It's not even their job. Although they did mention that they are able to, at any time, they can alter or change something, but does not mean that they come in and replace the state's legislature's job. Because in the Constitution, it was clearly stated that representatives and senators, they were elected by the state legislature. And the rules are set by the state legislature. So this is a very big move to replace basically the state legislature's job through this HR 1. So it does, raise question about whether this is constitutional at all.
Yeah, because they actually did they forbid state government to do a lot of things.
Yeah, that's just simply unconstitutional. I'm sure this thing will go to the two houses, and then eventually will go to the Supreme Court, and we'll see what would turn out there.
Yeah, but in the meanwhile, this is a House resolution, right? Actually, in Senate, there is another bill was introduced, which was actually also it's a introduction because in 2017 it was introduced. It wasn't successful, and just early, it's on January 28th. Two Oregon senators, Ron Wyden and Earl Blumnor, both from Democratic Party, they introduced this a bill called the Vote at Home Act. So from this name, you will know what they promote. And what's the purpose of this bill is to really try to nationalize the vote by mail and the vote at home, this type of voting system. So basically they said, for example, for receiving ballots, it required that all registered voters would receive ballots in the mail weeks before election day. And how to casting votes is you can through mail or at a drop-off center or a same-day registration. Okay, and then this bill requires that the federal government will provide the United States Postal Office funding to cover the cost. And also it will enact automatic voter registration as we just mentioned about. I think one thing also just HR 1 included was, I think we talked about it. It's just allows underage voting registration. Yeah. So, they are doing this, making such effort in both houses.
Another thing that we should not omit is that the HR 1 also make change to limit the super PAC fundraising capability. Okay, the idea is this is the issue is about the conservative. They donate the money, and then so that those super PAC would be able to spend and just promote the conservative agenda or the candidates. But the leftists, what they have is powerful social media, so they can afford limiting those spending by the super PAC and they still have their promotion or marketing power. That's sort of the other thing that's quite, not easy to identify, but it's quite intentional there. All right, so next one, let's move on to the move of the Florida. Okay, so actually Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, actually yesterday he made a 45 minutes speech and announcing Florida's measure on the big tech. Okay, basically it's a major push to curb big tech's political bias and censorship today, per the governor. And he said the measure including a ban on the censorship of the political candidates and a mandatory opt-out of content filters for citizens of the Sunshine State. Let me just be more specific. Okay, the new regulation including this. Okay, first it's called the mandatory opt-outs from big tech's content filter, because they have those content filter. But as a user, you are able to opt out. They have to provide that. Otherwise, they break the regulation of the Florida. And the next one is very interesting. Okay, and if the tech companies suspend candidates for elected office in Florida from their platforms, such tech companies will be fined by $100,000 per day. Mm-hmm. That's quite a hefty fine. I figured it's like $36 million if that ban suspending certain account, right? Twitter account or the Facebook account, and so on and so forth. Each one will cost them $100,000 per day. Also, there would be daily fines for any tech companies that uses their content and user-related algorithms to suppress or prioritize the access of any content related to a political candidate on the ballot. So interesting. I'm just wondering whether that would apply to the Trump family, because they live in Florida, right?
Well, yeah, actually, during the press conference, Governor DeSantis actually used President Trump's example, how his account was banned, and he said if just someone as a United States president's account can be banned, then he said they are coming to you, just everyday people. So let's watch just a video clip of this press conference.
Core issue here is this: are consumers going to have the choice to consume the information they choose, or are oligarchs in Silicon Valley going to make those choices for us? No group of people should exercise such power, especially not tech billionaires in Northern California. Now, if I had to choose, I'd rather be governed by the first 50 names in the Tallahassee phone book than the CEOs of big tech companies. If you don't like Parler, then don't read it. Let's not have those choices made for us, or before long we will have nothing more than someone else's choices imposed upon us by a bunch of monopolies whose core business is to sell advertising. These behaviors are concerning to me, as I know they are concerning to many Floridians. It's high time that we step up to the plate to ensure the protection of the people and their rights. And I'm committed to addressing what may be one of the most pervasive threats to American self-government in the 21st century, because I believe in individual rights, privacy rights, and property rights.
Yeah. So actually, Governor DeSantis acknowledged that first, one thing is he feels that if Florida passed this legislation, it will have impact in other states, but also he acknowledged that there would be a huge legislation fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see. That's interesting, and the state is fighting back. Okay. President Trump said actually more than one time that he said those fake media, right, the leftist media, is that if I'm not in the office, nobody will watch your TV, because it's me, it's I who bring you the eyeballs and your ratings. Let's see exactly what happened today, and a organization called the Variety Intelligence Platform. They collect an analysis of the ratings, and then the most recent today's report says this. Okay, after Biden got into office, and the ratings of the cable TV dropped a lot. Okay, so for the people aged 25 to 54, this is basically the best, the most targeted news demographics for people. And so CNN dropped 44%, okay, in their 3 hours of prime time. And then between the date of January 25th to 29th, actually Fox also dropped from like 4.2 million to 3.5, okay? And then for MSNBC, dropped from 4.6 to 2.3, almost halved. Mm-hmm. And then the only program that is not impacted, doesn't seem to be impacted. Actually, it's interesting. Take a guess. What would be the only one that does not seem to see a downturn? Kathy I haven't told you yet, right?
No.
Make a guess. Hard.
It's hard.
On the air. Make a guess. They'll put it on the spot. Tucker Carlson tonight was the only program that did not see a downturn. Anyway, so what do we see is this. Okay, people are losing interest in the mainstream media, cable TV. They don't seem to be doing their job, right? And that's why you are watching us. And for that, we appreciate it. But we don't feel good about our profession, our journalist colleagues, and what are they up to. So that's a small piece of news. And we'll see how things go down the road, whether they're going to keep losing viewers.
Okay. So let's move to the news related to gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the FBI conducted more than 4.3 million gun background checks in January, in last month. So this actually marks the highest number of checks completed during a single month in this agency's recorded history. So, and the experts saying this staggering figure indicate a growing demand for a firearm from the American public. So, according to Small Arms Analysis and Forecasting, excluding federal level checks, such as those conducted for like a federal law enforcement agents, the Bureau conducted totally 4,288,000 some state-level background checks. So the gun background check doesn't necessarily mean how many guns are sold, but they are definitely an indication of gun sales trends. So, but actually, someone can buy multiple firearms at once and have only one background check, right? So. They adjusted. So this agency adjusted the FBI's figure, indicated that just over 2.2 million guns were sold in January 2021, a 79% increase from the same month last year in 2020. So, however, this type of a jump, 79% jump, was not unheard of actually. In January 2013, remember? When is that? That's right after Obama's second term, and in that month there was even higher increase, over 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What about you? It's I think to many of you, it's probably understandable. It's just how much jump the gun sale will be, right? Because the people, we have a friend, right, Chinese friend who went out to buy a gun, buy a lot of guns.
Yeah, he had 9 guns.
But he's a gun lover. He may not be the most typical person.
Well, actually, it's interesting. He's actually a music educator, right?
Yeah, right.
He's a guitarist.
Instructors.
Yeah, but then just a little over past 1 year, he became a gun lover and acquired, purchased 9 guns.
Yeah, so basically that's how people value their Second Amendment, as we see, that even there's a slight possibility of that right being taken away, people are taking action already. I don't know about you guys. Did any of you,
because in China, actually, people don't have rights, right? This type of rights. So, it shows us that the Chinese Americans, Asian Americans are starting to get to know their Second Amendment rights. Yeah. And so, yeah.
That's a very, very, new trend that we didn't see before. Chinese people, they never got to own gun in China. So they were not used to owning guns, okay, until now. So many Chinese people, they're just going out and buying guns, get trained and things like that. So this is something that in our Chinese American community, and which we'll talk enough about in our Chinese show. All right. So the next piece of news actually is quite interesting. It's a perspective. Okay, let me report it to you. And we have a Democratic House representative. Her name is Marcia Kaptur. Marcia Kaptur is 75-year-old. Okay, she is in her 20th term in the Congress, in the House. So basically, she's been there for 80 years. She's the longest serving representative of Democratic Party in the House. Right? Nancy Pelosi is 34 years. She's 80 years. Actually, recently he took an interview with The Hill, right? Mm-hmm. The Hill, about her thought, and this is what she shared with the interviewers. She said she's struggling with a growing sense of alienation within the Democratic Party. Okay, she said she fights for. She's from the Ohio, the 9th District of Ohio. Okay, based in the heartland of America. She said she fights for the interest of her largely working-class Midwest constituents. She also said while the Democratic Party is increasingly dominated by representatives from the wealthy and often coastal districts. She shared the congressional district data showing that 19 out of 20 of the nation's wealthiest districts are now represented by Democrats. And she said this. She said, several of my colleagues who are in the top ranks have said to me, we don't understand you are part of the country. And so Congresswoman Raptor said this. She said, they are very genuine, okay? So you cannot understand that what you haven't been a part of. So basically, she's worried that the voice of congressional Democrats now is more and more representing wealthy district, and then now they are drowning out those people who represent the heartland district. So all her interest to her district, the interest of her district is pushed to the sideline. That's basically what she shared. So in the meantime, Republicans are on track to becoming a multi-ethnic working-class coalition now, and so this has been quite repeated in the 2020 election. Believe it or not, it's just hard to believe it, right? Mm. We say Democratic parties for the working class, and Republicans for the business and the rich people. Now it's completely the other way around. It's just history is making a big joke here. Anyway. So, some other perspective. Actually, so after the November election, right? So the House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, okay, he said this right after the election. He said this election cycle has made one thing clear: the Republican Party is now the party of the American workers. And in the presidential race, President Trump. He won the largest, actually, in this 4 months ago, won the largest share of non-white voters. Okay, a traditional demographic of any Republican since 60 years ago, since 1960. Okay, and then one particular example is this, like in Florida. Florida tends to be this bellwether type of a state, right? Then there's this county in. I'm sorry. I'm moving. Let me raise another example. This is in Texas. There's this county called Zapata County. Okay, so back in 4 years ago, President Trump lost to Hillary in that year with a margin of 32 to 65, 32% versus 65, and this year he won 52 versus 47. So can you believe it? Completely reversed it, and that's a place with a lot of non-white voters in Texas. Yeah, Hispanic Americans. So, so it's just our world is changing. It's really just it's changing. How to say? taken upside down, and a lot of changes. And
yeah. So for one of the changes we we know that as we all know, the United States the demographic has been like really changed a lot, but that seems to become like logical for the identity politics for some people, right? So why exactly in the United States so many people seem to acknowledge or even embrace identity politics, and what is exactly identity politics doing to the United States, and what does that lead to us? So I actually did a in-depth interview with an expert. So I will be airing this episode tomorrow when we do not have a live show, but I think it's a good time to just kind of do a pre-announcement. So if you're interested, please pay attention to our channel. And so hopefully you will get a notice. We'll try to probably just premiere it at the same time, 7 p.m. West, like a Pacific time. But maybe just check if you are still subscribed and click the bell, as our viewer suggested to wait, right? What's the method again? Maybe some of the later comers.
Yeah,
may
make
not
sure
know.
you just unsubscribe, and then resubscribe. Okay, just reset yourself so that you can make sure that you are able to subscribe. Yeah, I'm just sorry. We are in this situation, as you understand. As we report, we have to report you to the truth, right? And then that carry a risk. Okay, they could suppress us, they could sideline us, they could shadow ban us, but we have to carry on. So we'll be here for the long haul, and in the meantime, to find a safer place, go to Safe Chat. Find a safer place, go to a safe place, which is called Safe Chat. Download that app, it's Safe Chat, and also we are also on the Rumble and also on the Twitter. Just search for Wei and Kathy. Actually, my coworker has been searching. She couldn't find it. I think the reason it is because it was created just a couple of hours ago. But yeah, we'll share the link in the description, and please follow us. And indeed, we, as I said before, okay, so we do this out of a sense of mission, right? We came from socialist China. We understand the nature of it, its behavior, its phenomenon, its methodology, and its how it faked itself. The communists are all alike, everywhere they are, okay? It's just different extent. The thinking, the gene are all the same. So we feel obligated to share with you what we learn about them, and in relation to the news that happen every day in our country. Okay, there's a lot of things coming. I just want to warn you, things are gonna get much worse before it get better. There'll be a lot of terrible policies that will come forth. We'll be analyze that for you, and through that analysis, this is what I see. We are going to go back to the root of our nation, because while we say something is not a good policy, we have to tell you what is a good policy and what is the base for that. And believe it or not, our founding fathers knew the answer 250 years ago already, of the most, if not all, of the problem or the debate of the policy of today. That's what I mean to we mean to bring it to you. Okay, so that's that. We don't want to take too much of your time, and thank you for all your feedback and your comments and your likes and the subscription. And
spreading the word for us. I know quite a few of you just told us you spread the word about our channel, so really appreciate it.
Yeah, we saw that in the Safe Chat. Actually, people comment and saying that, recommend people to check us out.
Right.
Very our heart is really warmed. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so take care. We'll see you.
I'll see you on Friday.
But tomorrow I will have this in-depth interview. So yeah, see
Okay.
you then.
Yeah.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.